we're looking at songwriting and how do we put together a beautiful song, the heart of that is the lyrics. Your lyrics are going to define you as an artist. So you don't want to just throw those together willy-nilly. There's only a few people that I've seen that can make a really sustainable career work with not much attention to lyrics. And I'm not going to name those names because that's just mean. But something you want to think about as you're writing your lyrics is, what genre are you? If you are a screamo death metal kind of style genre, then you want your lyrics to fit with that. You don't want to be screaming about how much you love your kids. It just doesn't work. You want your lyrics to fit your genre. The bottom line is, people want to put you in a box. I've found this to be the case over and over again. If you are a worship leader, for example, and you want to make it as a artist in just kind of the crossover industry, in just the secular industry, it can be really difficult if you've mixed your worship and your performance together. Both are very legitimate genres, but people want to put you in a box. So if you are a Christian who writes music, it's very easy for people to say you're a Christian musician, which is great if you're going for the Christian genre. But if you're trying to be a crossover artist, it can be really difficult. So you got to think of creative ways to market yourself so that you're not put in a box. Because once you're put in a box, it's really difficult to get out of that box. And never say, I don't really fit a genre. Nothing I do really fits with anything out there. First of all, it's not true. There's so much music out there. There's gonna be someone that your music relates with, and it can come across a little bit arrogant if you're saying, well, I'm just so creative that I don't fit into any genre. So I would encourage you to figure out what genre you closely line up with, and make sure your lyrics fit into that genre. One very important thing when you're writing lyrics is to make it relatable. If your lyrics are about this really niche interest that you have and nobody knows what you're talking about, it's very doubtful that your lyrics are going to get stuck in someone's head. And you want your lyrics to get stuck in someone's head. When your song gets stuck in someone's head, that means it's running through their consciousness. That means they're probably sharing it with their friends. And a lot happens when you get that kind of traction. So find relatable themes. People use music as a source of connection. So don't be too obscure. Don't be too vague. Sometimes that works in niche categories of music, but as a general rule, find themes like love, compassion. There's a million things you can write about that are still relatable to a broad audience. Another thing I want to say is, with your lyrics, be clever. Put in the work to think outside of the box of what you're trying to say. There's a songwriter that I really appreciate. His name is Andrew Bell. So he's really good at making plays on words and taking something that would be easy to say as a cliche and turning that cliche on its head. Here's one off his latest album. Kind of a common phrase you hear is, the devil's in the details. But he takes that and he turns it on his head and says, the devil's going to let on that you're in the details. So he takes something that already is a phrase that maybe kind of people are familiar with, but he turns it on his head and it makes it work for a song that he's written. I wrote a song on my first album called True, and it's kind of a simple love song. But instead of saying, you took my breath away, I took that phrase and kind of twisted it, and I said, you stole the breath from the air that I had not taken yet. And so taking something that is familiar to people, that they resonate with, but saying it in a new way, in a creative and clever way, can really help your song stand out from the crowd. Another thing that you want to do is engage the imagination. People are going to take your song wherever they've been in their life, really, and they're going to put imagery to that song from things that they've experienced. So you kind of have to direct their imagination in the right direction. Use descriptive words. Use words that evoke emotion. It's very important to to realize that imagination is going to be a part of their listening experience anyway. So take that and use it for your advantage to take them where you want to take them. Also, something that some artists have neglected is the cleverness and the impact of rhyming. But when you're writing a strong lyric, when you come to the end of a line and it doesn't rhyme, you can leave someone feeling like empty, like incomplete, and it really doesn't make you look good as an artist if your whole audience wants you to say something, they feel it, they feel the song moving that direction, and then you say something that doesn't even rhyme with the line. It can work, but it's much more difficult, and you want to use all the tools in your tool belt, and rhyming is a really big one. You can really connect people's emotion with what you're saying if you can cleverly rhyme it. And it doesn't have to be perfect rhymes. You can do near rhymes. You can use slang that helps you rhyme. It's worth the extra effort to make sure your songs have a rhyme scheme that works with where you're going. The last thing I would say about lyrics is to listen. So listen to a broad range of musical styles and artists. You really want to not try to reinvent the wheel with everything you're trying to do. Take other people where they're at and learn what they're doing, and then use that to spark your own creative ideas. I don't think anyone should be thinking that they're their own island. You gotta learn what's worked in the past and build off of that. So listen as much as you can to a variety, and that can really inform your lyrics.